Hi guys, welcome to Scorched Earth Tarot. This is going to be a general reading for the month of November for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Ascendant. If you don't know what your Moon or Ascendant signs are, have a look in the description box below. I put a link down there that will help you. And then go back and watch the videos for your Moon and Ascendant signs, because you might find that there's extra information in there that gives you a clearer picture of what's going on with you as a whole. If you would like a personal reading, I can be reached at the email, which is also in the description box below. If you're a subscriber and you're returning, I really appreciate your support. Thank you. If this is your first time to the channel and you haven't seen me before, or you're just not subscribed, I'd love it if you would consider doing so. The whole reason that I got on YouTube in the first place and put myself hugely out of my comfort zone was to try and help as many people as possible, and raising the visibility of the channel will help go towards achieving that. If you don't want to see me shuffling cards and talking, then if you go down to the comment box below, the first comment will give me a timestamp on the video and you can leap straight to where the video starts if you're in a rush or whatever. That's cool. So this is actually my third time recording this video. The first time I prattled on for like 15 minutes before I realised that it wasn't even recording. The second time I did the entire reading and then realised that my mic wasn't plugged in. Utterly wounded. And it was, you couldn't hear the audio at all. So I'm hoping third time lucky. I really hope third time lucky, because I've spent all morning in here and not actually achieved anything, which is super. I hope October's been good to you and that you're looking forward to your birthday. Okay. We're in Scorpio season at the moment, so, and will be for most of November. So you should probably be prepared for some kind of deep thinking, I would think. And also the Mercury retrograde starts on the 31st, so Samhain, Halloween. So it could be that old situations, people from the past, stuff like that, resurface for you to be able to deal with them and move on, just so that you're aware. So, with all that said, let's go ahead and pull 3 cards for Sagittarius for the month of November. There we are, that's the first one. First card you have is the Magician. That's it. Number 1, the Major Arcana, Master Manifestor. Another card for Sagittarius for the month. We've got the 6 of Cups. I was talking about things from the past resurfacing. Interesting. One more card for Sagittarius for the month of November. That's the one. Almost ended up in my coffee. We've got the World card. It's the universe in this deck, but it's the world. It's about ends of cycles and how interesting that we should have Mercury retrograde on its way in. We've got the 6 of Cups, and then we're talking about wrapping up a cycle. At the bottom of the deck we have Temperance, which is the card of Sagittarius in the Major Arcana. So interesting. Actually, give these a shuffle. I hope the noise of the card shuffling isn't too loud for you. Okay, I'll do. Where's the Magician here? Sagittarius. Interesting. We've got 2 6s. We've got the 6 of Swords and the 6 of Pentacles. I'll come out for that. It's air energy and earth energy. Why is the 6 of Cups here? Ooh. Justice, card of Libra, number 11 of the Major Arcana. And actually, I should say it's come out in both of the previous readings that I've done. So there's some heavy justice overtones going on with you in the month of November. Why is the 6 of Cups here for Sagittarius? Oh. What came out first? We've got 2 9s. Interesting. The 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups. I'm going to take both of those. And then the universe. Queen of Wands. It's the fire element queen, so Aries, Leo, Sag, your queen. That's the world here. And Temperance, your card again. So it's a double slapping of Temperance here. So the card on the bottom of this deck is the 8 of Swords. It's a card of feeling trapped. Sagittarius hates to feel trapped by anything. Interesting. So, the first card you have is the Magician. And the Magician is the master manifester. Right? On this table here in front of him, he's got cups, he's got wands, he's got swords, and he's got pentacles. And he's really powerful because he has the ability to utilize all of these elements to manifest into reality anything that he wants. He's not stuck working within one element. He can be a bit of a tricky character, particularly if he's in the reverse, but you know, depending on the cards that surround him, sometimes he can be a bit of a manipulator, simply because he is really good at, you know, utilising every resource that he has to get the outcome that he wants. But he's appeared in his positive aspect here, and there's nothing around him that makes me think that there's any kind of nefarious intent here. I feel like this is you. Yeah. In fact, what I feel at the moment is that you're on the... Sorry, I'm just trying to find a way to put into words what I'm hearing. You're on the brink of bringing something to life. Could be an idea, could be a creative venture, it could be an event, it could be something. You're on the cusp of it right now. And it's taken quite a lot to pull this all together. But here it is. You've done it. You've got every tool that you need at your disposal. And it's about to birth into life. In fact, I'm quite surprised not to see the Empress here for that reason. But the two cards that you have to clarify are the Six of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. And aside from the fact that they're both sixes, this is quite an interesting pair. Because the Six of Swords talks about moving away from things that no longer serve you. You know, it's leaving choppy waters and sailing off to calmer waters. But the thing I always find interesting about this card is that the swords are in the boat with the people that are moving away. So they're moving away from a situation, but they're taking something with them. You know, they're taking thoughts, they're taking communication with them. It's a card of moving along, but with baggage, leaving a situation, but taking some of it with you. And the second card, the Six of Pentacles, is about balance, rather there being a lack of balance, and a seek to restore balance. You know, this chap's here, and he's handing out money to the poor. You know, so it can mean charity, it can mean that sort of thing. But I always feel slightly aggrieved by this card because, you know, at the end of the day, the person with the power, the person who decides who is the deserving poor, is this chap here, who has more than he should do anyway. You know, so it's about there not being an equal give and take, really. You know, he's dropping breadcrumbs to these people here. literal crumbs, while he stood there in all his finery, you know, his conspicuous wealth, surrounded by pentacles, and he's dropping breadcrumbs for poor people. I'm going to pull another card because I'm intrigued. I feel like we've only got half a message here. So, why are these sixes here for Sagittarius? Sixes here for Sagittarius. So we've got the Devil, which is the card of Capricorn in the Major Arcana, and we've got the Ace of Pentacles. Turn these over so I can see what I'm looking at. So the Devil is about toxicity and codependency and addiction, abuse, all of these kind of miserable things. But it's also about temptation. It's about self-sabotage. And this is what you're moving away from. This is what you're looking to balance out. You know, the card at the bottom of the deck, if I could remind you, is the Eight of Swords. And the other card was yours, was Temperance. Temperance talks about healing, right? Internal healing, emotional healing, soul healing, all of those things. So we've got cards here of moving away from something and restoring a balance. And I feel like this balance restoration is happening inside you. And if I recall correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure restoring balance has been part of a few of the readings that we've had in the months leading up to this. So the reason for this are these cards here. What this says to me is that you're starting to get an understanding of your own personal demons, of what drives you forwards, and the ways in which some of those things have been quite damaging to you, because, you know, there's an element here of shadow work, and I don't know whether it's intentional or unintentional. You just kind of stumbled upon it, stumbled into it, and you've begun to start healing parts of yourself. You've started to understand the ways in which you restrict yourself from doing things, because the Devil primarily is about fear. And the reason that he comes to mean so many other things is because it is a fear of doing without, you know, a substance that makes you feel good about yourself. It's about doing without a person, doing without something that makes you feel good, and a fear that then you will never be able to enjoy yourself again, or love again, or do, you know, breathe on your own again, as I felt about one of my partners. You know, just the thought of him ever leaving, I just didn't think I would be able to breathe if he did that. And in the event, he actually died, and I carried on breathing. It was fine. But my point is, this is an internal calibration that you've been performing on yourself. And then we come to the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is a new opportunity. So it could have been a new job, a new business, a new home, or something. You know, Pentacles talk about material things. They talk about jobs homes, security, income, money sometimes, but more often the things that money can provide rather than money itself. So something new that you took up recently, in the past year, I would say, that has involved working together with other people to build something really solid, because the Three of Pentacles is about building something solid. This has actually got you to a point where it's given you a lot of internal tools, which is why I feel like you've kind of accidentally stumbled into this rather than going out specifically to look for the ways in which your shadow needed pulling out of itself. You tripped across it by making a series of mature decisions, a series of mature judgments about things. And you're finding, like, the byproduct of that is that you're actually in quite a powerful position now. Not only internally, but also externally, as within, so without. As you are fixing those bits of you internally, so you're starting to find that your 3D existence is starting to pick up accordingly. The universe is responding in kind. And then we come to the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups, like I said, is a card of past relationships. They can be past relationships in this lifetime, or they can be past life relationships. More often than not, I read it that way. A lot of other readers interpret this as children and stuff. I don't particularly. Mostly. I mean, there would be situations where I would, but it's past life. And the Justice card is here as well. Like, as I said, the Mercury retrograde starts on Halloween. So this is the universe throwing up old things that you haven't learned lessons from, to give you an opportunity to fix stuff. Either pick it up again and do it better, or lay it to rest properly. Quite surprised the Judgment card isn't out here somewhere. It may turn up. But you're a different person to who you were this time last year. Now, you're an improved version of yourself. The temptations and the things, your internal demons that you've been battling with, you're starting to put those to rest. You're moving away from them. You're not totally out of the woods yet, because these two sixes are only partially way up the, up the pips. You've still got a ways to go, but there is movement here. You're moving away from this devil energy, and you're starting to fix that balance. And then up comes something new. We've got Justice, which is the card of Libra, and it's numbered 11. And then we've got 2 nines, right? So we take a little bit of a leap up from sixes to nines. The sixes are your internal. These nines are external. So this is your approach to fixing a situation that comes up again in the retrograde. Alright, I'm quite certain of that. There's a karmic aspect to that, and I think that's why this Justice card is here. This is definitely a cycle that you have been in, that you didn't close out properly. So it's rearing its ugly head again. This could be an ex. It could be someone, an old friend. It could be a family member. It could be anyone, right? It's anyone that you've got some sort of relationship with that didn't end properly. Maybe you ghosted them. Maybe they ghosted you. Maybe you had a row and you never spoke again. But it's someone from the past and they're coming back. And it's really important that you approach this fairly and properly, because there's a lesson in here for you. And then these 2 nines. The Nine of Pentacles is a card of independence. You know, this is someone who has worked really hard. Like, quite often it can depict a single person. Like, it's independence. There's a woman in a garden, you know, she's taken time to amass all of these pentacles. She's done it by herself. And I get the impression that she started off small. You know, there's a little snail down here with its house on its back. She started off really small. And for a long time she went without. But now she's at a point where she's actually quite successful. It could be Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo. What I'm not sure about is whether this depicts you or whether this is the person that's coming back in. Let's have a look. Here's the second card. The Nine of Cups is the card of wish fulfillment. You know, this dude is sitting on a stool and he's looking pretty happy with himself. He's got all of his 9 cups behind him. There's implied satisfaction in both of these cards. And they're two single people. So maybe one is you and maybe one is the other. But we'll find out. Why are these 2 9s here? Two cards that came out are Death, 4 of Pentacles. Death is the card of Scorpio in the Major Arcana, so it could be a Scorpio that's coming back. But if not, the card of Death indicates transformation, and what it implies is a transformation of this relationship, because the 4 of Pentacles here, there, it's somebody who holds on to something too hard. One of you in this relationship has been holding on too hard to the memory of the other. Like, I get the impression that you haven't spoken much, if at all, in some time. But one of you is looking to close things out properly, close the cycle. And that doesn't mean like never speaking to them again, because when you've got a relationship transformation, that's the end of a cycle and the start of a new one. This person wants to clear out all the dead wood. They want to stop holding on quite so hard. And if they do that by actually coming to you and getting closure for a situation that they never did before, or whether they want to transform the situation so that they actually don't have to cling to the memory because they can actually talk to you. You know, take it as it resonates to you. But one person here is emotionally fulfilled and the other person is materially fulfilled. I've got the 10 of Cups and the 9 of Swords. You know, the 10 of Cups is only one step up from the 9 of Cups. You know, the 9 of Cups is the wish fulfillment. It's your wishes being granted, but the 10 is ultimate satisfaction, you know, emotional fulfillment, complete emotional fulfillment. Then the 9 of Swords is quite the opposite. The 9 of Swords is someone who's been being tortured by the contents of their own head. It's another 9, so it's near the top. You know, it's that long dark night of the soul. It's about not being able to sleep at night. You know, because your brain is just churning over things that happened. Or not being able to stay asleep, you know, lying and staring at the ceiling at 3 o'clock in the morning and wishing that things had been better. Two of Swords. Right, this person's making a decision about whether to approach you. Eight of Swords, feeling stuck. Unsure which way to turn. And we've got the Sun, but it came out in reverse, so kind of, it's still a positive card. It's a positive card, however it falls. But it's in its reversed state. I feel like it's being blocked. So what we have here is actually two cards running in columns. The person that's going to approach you looks like they're happy. They look like they're emotionally fulfilled. They look like they've got everything going on. But actually what they've been holding on to is this Nine of Swords energy. And what they're trying to decide now is whether they should try and contact you and try and clear the air, try and do something, either, you know, resume contact with you properly, or just take an opportunity to go, can we kind of close this out properly? Because it's torturing me a little bit. They're feeling very stuck and they don't know which way to go. The Sun coming out in reverse makes me think that they're not going to be particularly sure of a positive response from you. But the card that's come out directly underneath Death for you on your side is the Ten of Cups. I think there's a potential of some great happiness here for you if this person does get in touch with you. Why is the Ten of Cups here for Sagittarius? What? Yeah, you've missed this person. It's the Knight of Cups. And you want to be able to tell them that. It's not clear as to why you've not been talking in the first place, but we've got the Ace of Cups and the High Priestess. So actually deep down, secretly, you've kind of been hoping that this person will get in touch. And because the Justice card is here and Temperance is here twice, there's a divine timing aspect to this. Like, deep down, secretly, quietly, you've kind of been hoping that they would get in touch at some point. For whatever reason, you don't feel like you are the one who is able to make the first move. They've got to come to you. So I don't know, you know, if there's a fault to be assigned either side for this, or whether it was just one of those things that happen and for whatever reason you don't feel like you can make the first move. This person desperately wants to make the first move, but isn't actually sure that they're going to be terribly well received. I mean, maybe they did something that really hurt you. Why doesn't this person think they're going to be positively received? We've got the King of Pentacles and we've got the Tower. King of Pentacles is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. It's the pinnacle of the suit. And the Tower is a card of Scorpio. It's another Scorpio card right there. But it's about things being knocked down. You know, like, maybe this person stole money from me. Maybe this person, you know, whatever this person did, it affected you in a material sense. You know, whether it caused you to have to move out of your home or something like that. You know, I could definitely see that being the case here. You had to move out, or you needed to, you know, or they stole money from you, or whatever it was, it upset the apple cart quite a lot. And that's why they don't feel like they will be very well received. How intriguing. The final card that you've got is the World. It's the universe in this deck, but it's the World card. And that is closing out cycles. It's a perfect card, in fact, to be there. It usually depicts the 4 fixed signs, so that's, you know, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius. But it's a sign that things are changing. That you are changing things. You're closing out a cycle like you've always wanted to. The important thing is here that I don't think there's such a divine timing aspect to this. You wouldn't be in the right place to close the cycle out properly if you hadn't done all of this work over here first. Like, there was a lot of things that you needed to sort out inside yourself. And perhaps part of what you've been sorting out is your understanding of what went down between you and this other person here. You know, the other thing that temperance can indicate is forgiveness. Maybe you've already forgiven this person. Because when we forgive, we don't forgive for the other person's benefit. We forgive so that we can, you know, let go and move on. Because if we cling to things really, really hard, we can't move on. You know, while you hold me in contempt, you still hold me. It's that sort of thing. So if you've done your internal work and you've developed a more mature understanding of what occurred, what went down between you two, and kind of gone, I forgive you for that. Like, in your head, I forgive you. I'm moving on. I've moved past it now. I'm no longer holding on to that. That energetic shift will be picked up by that other person, you know, because it seems like you were very close at one point. And now you get the opportunity to close out the cycle, and it won't just be for you, it'll be for this other person as well. The 2 cards that you have to clarify are the Queen of Wands and Temperance. So they could both be Sagittarius cards. Like, the Queen of Wands could be Leo, Aries, Sag. Right? It's the feminine energy of the suit, though it doesn't have to be a woman. She's the witch of the deck. She's bold, she's dynamic, she's sexy, she's pretty awesome. Actually, I love her. Really do. But she's minor arcana, and you're coming out as major arcana. You're coming out as the angel, you're coming out as the one who forgives. This person isn't on your level. Why is the Queen of Wands here for Sagittarius? Oh, that's too many. Let's start again. It's the 3 of Swords. This person hasn't forgiven themselves for what they did to you. And this is what's keeping them trapped. It's what's keeping their representation trapped down in the minor arcana. You have the power and now the internal understanding and maturity to be able to release this person from what they've been putting themselves through, because we've got the 3 of Swords, we've got the 9 of Swords. This person's been in a great deal of internal, like, black space. It's a stain on their soul, what they did to you. And what they need more than anything else is forgiveness, and you finally are in a position to be able to give that to them. One more card. I've got the Magician. So the first card and the last card. You encapsulate this entire situation. You know, energetically, you have instigated this person coming back, whether you understand that or not. And you've done that through the evolution of your own internal workings. You know, it's caused an energetic tug, which has got this person seriously considering getting in touch. Oh shit. Desperately wanting to get in touch, wanting to apologise for what they did to you. But they're so afraid right now. And you're the magician. You've manifested this. All of it. So now it's time for you to deal with it properly. I think that feels very strongly what the message is. So I'm going to leave it there, Sagittarius. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Like, feel free to drop me a message or comment, or just like if you don't want to talk about it. You know. And if you want to go deeper into it, I mean, I can always reach for a personal reading and whatnot. But I would love it if you'd subscribe. I'm going to start uploading videos more often now than I have done previously. So if you subscribe, you'll get notified of that. And that'll all be cool. Otherwise, best of luck. You do seem very much to have this all in hand, Sagittarius. But be gentle with this person when they come back, because they're really putting themselves through a lot, and you've manifested this contact in, so just be aware of that. So my loves, I will see you next time.